October 1st, Tuesday, October 1st. Today is a shot day. I did not take a video of my last shot day. I did weigh-in that day and I was 240.4. Today, I am 241.2. Still doing 6 milligrams a shot. I still have been feeling pretty okay, pretty well. I haven't been eating the best lately. I'm not 100% sure what my course of action is going to be. I really wish that this calmed food noise for me as it does for so many people. It does not. Like, I am still, not all the time, but sometimes overeating. And I know that I'm overeating. And I can tell, like, oh, hey, I'm full, or I don't need food or whatever. But, something will just pushes. And it's probably, a willpower thing. And I hate saying that, but I don't know what else it could be, So, I don't know that I'll be doing videos on every shot day because there's not a lot to tell you guys that I haven't been saying for the last however many weeks now. So I think I'm just going to continue on as I have been. If I end up doing different protocols, then I'll, let you guys know if it's successful. Maybe I'll take videos and not put them up if there's nothing really to tell. I don't know. I would like to be saying, oh, this is my weight loss journey and I'm just consistently going down 3 pounds every week. Woohoo, go me. But that's just not what's happening. And yeah, so I'm not sure if I want to try stacking or if I should go back. Like I've talked about before, I'm kind of contemplating maybe going back to a more traditional every 5 days or every 7 days. Because maybe the whole, peaks and valleys are important for some reason. I don't know. I sometimes think maybe I should try Retta or Retatrutide, and maybe I'll try that in the future. Maybe I will go off it completely for a month and then start at the bottom again. And that's been helpful for some people. Other folks, however, have said that when they've done that, that it doesn't work as well for them, which I find interesting. That's just, anecdotally, of course, but I don't know. I don't know if I should try semaglutide again. You'd think it'd be less effective because that's only a single agonist, whereas tirzepatide is a double agonist and retatrutide is a triple agonist. And I know that Cagri is different. There's also TISO. Someone mentioned an AOD the other day. I don't know. I haven't gone to the bathroom well the last couple days, so that could also be why the scale was up this morning. I'm assuming that's why it was up. I'm 2 weeks late for my period. Definitely not pregnant. It's just a menopause thing or a perimenopause thing. That could be coming into play. I don't know. I am supposed to be starting an estrogen patch and an estrogen cream and a progesterone pill. I'm just waiting for them to get mailed to me. That's coming in the mail. Some folks, when they've started on hormone replacement therapy, have been able to start losing weight again. I honestly don't know. It'd be really interesting to see if I don't change anything else, if it's just the same thing with HRT, if it, makes a difference. So we'll see about that. I rewatched The Glass Onion the other day on Netflix. Technically I was listening to it as I was doing a puzzle. I enjoy doing puzzles, but I try not to do 1,000-piece puzzles because it's usually just me who does them. And I'll show you guys the one that I just did. And it was brand new. I think I've had it for a year or two, and I just got around to doing it. Took me 2 days, I think, to finish it, and I will not be keeping this one and doing it again because I like to do puzzles over again. But this one just, there was too much similarities with it. So I'll be giving it to my sister, and then she gives it to her friend after she does them. But I'm doing another one now that I got from a thrift store, and it's also a 1,000-piece puzzle. These puzzle pieces are not typical shaped. They're all different sizes, and they're different like heights. So even though they fit together, they don't look like they do because maybe one's like this and one's like this. And so the edges don't really match up. The edge pieces were in a Ziploc bag. So I put those together first last night. They took me forever. And now I have the entire rest of the puzzle to do. I'm looking forward to it, but I'm also not. Simply because of the puzzle piece shapes. There was enough differences in this puzzle that I'm going to be doing that I thought, oh, okay, well, I can do, these random birds because they're different colors. Like, this one's blue and this one's yellow and this one's red. So I like to be able to group colorations, in puzzles. But now, having seen it all laid out, I think this one is going to take me a very long time. So I rewatched the Wednesday series on Netflix while I was doing that first puzzle. We'll listen to it again. I like to listen to things that I've already seen before, so I don't really have to pay too much attention to them. Last night, I put on reruns of Saturday Night Live from like 2013, I think is the year that I'm on right now. I don't really need to watch those ones. Just listening to them is, fun enough. But this puzzle's we'll see. I trimmed my hair the other day because this was starting to get really fluffy down here. So I trimmed it. And like where your occipital lobe is, the base right here. I was using clippers and just going up, but I looked like I had a line, like there was like some twingers. So I took thinning shears and I'm just like using a, mirror against a mirror and I'm trying to cut. I have like this line in the back of my head now. I don't know if you can really, I can't feel it too well. I don't know, maybe you guys can see it. I'll see if I can. Hopefully this is getting in frame. There's a line like right here because I took scissors and I was just trying to thin like this part so it would blend, but I ended up cutting a deeper wedge at the base of my head. So I was like, well, that's not good. But then I figured, it's hair, it'll grow. I don't have to look at it because it's the back of my head, but I just thought that was kind of funny. But I have had no training whatsoever. The rest of it looks fine, right? It's an appropriate size. And really, I was just taking it up to about here because we talked before, I think, that I cut this part the very first time I did it too short. So I'm trying to let this part grow out a little bit because I have a cowlick right here. And so everything wants to lay down, but I cut it too short. So I was trying not to go too far up my head so I could get some length here. Anyway, it's interesting when you cut your own hair. I've thought about dyeing it again. I used to dye it all the time, and usually I stick with reds, like kind of deeper reds, like a mahogany-ish type thing, because my hair is kind of brownish red to begin with. But I don't know if you can see it. I've got a fair amount of silver as I age, and I don't hate it, but it's just something fun to do. I'm still waiting for my cosmetics to come through on that group buy that I did, that I participated in. I don't think it's been shipped yet, and it's coming from Korea, so it'll probably be a couple weeks before I get that. But some people have already started getting their packages, and so I was like, oh yeah, I should be getting mine. Well, there was a number of us who are in this group buy, and they're just sending out a few shipments a day, and now they're in some other kind of a holiday, so they're not sending anything out for the next 3 days, so it's agony waiting for it. And I completely effed up my skin the other day. So I've been using the tretinoin, right? Because it's good. It helps regenerate your skin, kind of turns over the skin cells faster. I was not aware that that you need to wait a few days after using an active before you do any kind of like a peel, like an exfoliant peel. And so I have this one from The Ordinary that I use from time to time, and it looks like you're putting blood on your face. Like it's a very red serum. So I washed my face, and then I dried it, and then I'm putting this serum on, and like right here just starts to burn, like it starts to hurt. But I thought, oh, that just means that it's working. And I've used this before, and I know that that's not typically how it's supposed to feel. My nose, itchy. So honestly, I probably should have been like, oh crap, and like wiped it off, but I didn't. I went like 10 minutes with it, and then I took it off. It felt like I was on fire, but I was like, it's cool. I've got so many moisturizers. I'll just, moisturize. It took a good week for my skin to feel like it was normal. It was like super flaky down here. And like even days after, it felt fiery. And so I keep, this is like Curenex. I keep this moisturizer. It's a PDRN peptide complex ceramide. But it's just like a lotion, So I just was sitting here waiting for calls to come in. Speaking of, I should make sure I'm on the right screen for that. Waiting for calls to come in, and like every couple minutes I was just putting lotion on because it hurt so bad. So it's feeling fine now. It's been a few days since it stopped hurting. I haven't started the tretinoin again. I'm a little nervous too. What I should probably do is just do it like every other day. And some people do like a sandwich effect, like they put a moisturizer on and then they'll put the tret on, and then they'll do another moisturizer on top of it and kind of like layer it like a sandwich effect to help the skin until you get used to it. Well, I've been using tret, the cream version that my doctor prescribed, for a while now, and I would get a little bit dry, but like nothing crazy. And then I got this gel in from India, and I started using that, and I like that it spreads easier than the cream does. The cream is like a very thick, it's almost like diaper cream feeling. Like it's not solid, but it just doesn't spread very well. Like you have to like really work at it. And the gel, it's easier to spread, so I was just using the gel, and it's the same prescription strength. I don't know. I will probably start using it again soon, maybe tonight, but I'm a little leery about using it now. So I'm very excited to get this stuff from the group buy because I did a lot of like collagen building items and different moisturizers and different masks, like soothing moisture masks and stuff like that. So, and I've got the lidocaine cream. So I'm going to start doing the mesotherapy with the gun that does like the 9 at a time. I'll look like little bumps with like Hellraiser. So I'm excited to do that. I have a lot of stuff that I could be doing that with now, but I don't have any numbing agents. Oh, and I just saw something about clove oil yesterday, how it's a better numbing agent than like lidocaine. Like for your gums and stuff, if you have tooth pain, clove oil is supposed to be like a really good analgesic numbing agent, which I thought was pretty interesting. I'm reading this book. I think it's called like The Evolution of Eve. Hang on, let me find out. Eve, How the Female Body Drove 200 Million Years of Human Evolution. And I'm reading it for a book club. It's pretty interesting, and I'm only like not even a chapter into it. She's going into right now about how for studies, let's say, almost everything's been done using biological males, even like mice and stuff like that. It's all done on men because women have hormonal cycles, and with men, since they don't have that, typically speaking, you get a cleaner science because there's not as many variables, which I kind of get. But on the other hand, so she's saying that it's done a disservice to women because stuff that might work for male bodies doesn't necessarily work the same on female bodies. And she called into, so she was talking about like pain meds. Apparently women need a higher dose of pain meds to get the same amount of pain relief that men get from it. And that's why you're going to see a lot of, it's going to skew more towards women for like opioid type stuff like Oxycontin, because women are going to say, okay, well, I'm supposed to take, 2 pills. Well, the pain's back. I'm going to take 2 more pills. Well, that didn't work as well as last time, so I'm going to take 2 more pills. That kind of thing. Just start out with, or and women's bodies metabolize, generally speaking, medication faster, drugs faster than men's bodies do. So when you're under anesthesia for an operation, women tend to either kind of come out of their anesthesia. Well, I guess we as a whole wake up from anesthesia faster, like let's say after an operation's done. But that's also during an operation, women are more likely than men to come out of their anesthetics while they're still like on the table, because our bodies just metabolize drugs differently. And the only reason why they found that out, because like nobody ever asked that question before, is because there was an EKG machine that they were trying to test. And so they found a number of places that already had surgeries on the books. And so they were just hooking people up. Then they noticed the data later, and then they went back to actually like scrub against different sex differences, gender differences, biological differences. But nobody is ever asking these questions, So it's just interesting what I've read so far, that just tons of medical data that's out there is either solely done on the male biological sex, or only recently, like as of 2014, I think it's maybe, that they started saying, oh, okay, maybe we should be making sure we're getting women, like an equal maybe amount of women in this. And also, I guess, women could potentially be pregnant. And so they don't want to test out drugs on potentially pregnant women. So there's been a whole slew of reasons why they didn't really bring women into this. But it's kind of baffling and mind-boggling when you think about it, that a lot of this stuff that's being prescribed really hasn't had any clinical data on women. And the studies that were done prior to this ruling that they had to include more women in their studies, there's no obligation for them to go back and rerun their clinical trials, including a different subsect of, biological genders. I don't know. It's just crazy to me. I also just heard recently that women's like tampons and pads are not nearly as absorbent as they've been claiming for decades, because they were testing it with a saline solution, which has a different absorbency than blood does. It sounds like they've only recently started testing using blood. They've been using saline this whole time. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see where else this goes. Oh, and this was saying that women tend to accumulate fat on their hips more, and they have more different lipid profiles in our hip fat and our butt fat. So we tend to get larger hips and butts, because during pregnancy, during like the last month or two of pregnancy, our body utilizes those specific lipoproteins and lipids to funnel like into a baby. And so we start accumulating that as children, women do as children. Our body starts building that in preparation for something that may or may not happen, depending on if you ever get pregnant or not. But evolutionarily speaking, it's rough and it's hard to make these babies. And so our bodies are preparing for like such a young age. I don't know. And like, so if you have liposuction, where they take like fat out, you might not build that fat back like on your hips, let's say, or on your stomach. But they've noticed that then women tend to get it like more maybe on the underarms or on the thighs or areas that they haven't been, because our body wants to have that kind of fat storage. It's just super interesting. It'll be interesting to see where the rest of the book goes. But so that's what I'm doing right now. I'm waiting for calls to come in. I'm thinking about my health, reading about my body as a woman and how, evolutionarily speaking, how it's changed or how it hasn't changed. Yeah, so I don't know how often I'll be making these videos. I mean, if I start losing weight again, I'll start probably making videos and letting you guys know what's going on. But until then, I don't know. Unless you guys want me to make them like me just rambling like I am right now, then maybe I could do that. But as a weight loss series, I've lost 40 pounds. Doesn't seem to be going any further. I don't really have anything to report. So, I don't know. So I guess I will see you guys when I see you. Until then, I wish you the best of luck with your journeys. I guess I'll see you later. Bye.